Gold be a boa no fin and not Danko Kufuado on an about me up so 2022 biswa 8 tons and ye benya 31 tons niaden. And this is by what on gold namakoka 18.6. So what on gold no very cheap. Essence when you say gold never kosoro into what on the cheap mokwabana na price and kosora. Not what on boom when you're faso the ashen home.
So there was no need for that. We saw the gold at $3,500 per ounce. And fast forward a few months later, the finance minister is telling us that we rather have to buy more gold at $5,500 per speaker. I suspect insider trading in the sale of the gold reserves.
Obi a few weeks ago, Maton gold I was half. And say, he see a big keep gold be brave. And then more barber country and say, as a same was saying, a to gold be brave, edible reserve one.
Mema etiefo ni ahwefo nyina akwaba de bakoda media tips sabre media ne kachiri eja ya odia sempa dwumedia watundin chichirimu ena mede ba beso mu mpre ntinde di kan roba so a mesra no wa subscribe to Koda Media TV na dwumede ne koso no wala ka share na foforo so enya bia tie utie wi a ma me hu comment or comment section ho honorable Gideon Boakon odensem bi abetugua ose krombo bi aba pi wendisi amamu yi mu yo obi nsa baako aye tentensen baako yo obi so baka se obi nsa nso aye si wonwo mi ekuro danu asko bo ba ebose asko ba ebose abaka da so ko wuri ede na ekrene ntimpren gidi obako kire se obi nsa aye fi wo NDC amembu ni mu denti no rekasa gold be a boa no fin and not Danko Kufuado on an about me up so 2022 biswa tamani wo 8 tons and ye benya 31 tons niaden. And there NDC by what on gold namakoka 18.6. Say na gold na oto na bibi wechi. Ye wura gidi obuako. When wako yimu hwehwemu no was debi. Bibi o baby. Ene ma bia frafra baby. Mpeso bia ka atukwa na wa mafie. Momi ankoni nkutie Gideon Boakon MP4 Techiman South. Isabodi tugwa ayenra awo mmerese begwam Parliament House of the Republic of Ghana. Nkutie iwura Gideon Boakon na yemra.
Mr. Speaker, there is something happening in this country. What is happening in this country is so bad. There is a criminally minded attempt to loot the resources of this country. We were told in this country that between September and December 2025, 18 tons of Ghana's gold reserves were sold. Mr. Speaker, what was the rationale for the sale of the gold? At the time we were selling Ghana's gold 18 tons, we had excess foreign exchange reserves. So there was no need for that. We saw the gold at $3,500 per ounce, and fast forward a few months later, the finance minister is telling us that we rather have to buy more gold at $5,500 per speaker. I suspect insider trading in the sale of the gold reserves. Insider trading in the sense that some people somehow in government knew that the gold prices were going to go high. They sold it cheap to themselves, and today they want to sell it back to the Ghanaian people and profit from that. That is what is happening. Mr. Speaker, that is my suspicion. Mr. Speaker, that is my suspicion. And Mr. Speaker, if you grant me this opportunity, we need a bipartisan inquiry into the sale of the 18 tons of gold in this country. We need a bipartisan inquiry because, Mr. Speaker, we cannot sit in this country when managers of the economy know that gold prices are increasing. They sell 18 tons of our gold, which were in reserves, at a lower price, and 5 or 3 months down the line, they come back to tell Ghanaians that we need to buy more gold. Who bought the 18 tons of gold? Has the gold been shipped out of the country? If it is not shipped out of the country, we should know who bought it. We shall not sit down for those who bought the gold cheap to come back, sell it to us at exorbitant prices and benefit from that price disparity. Mr. Speaker, that is my suspicion. That is my suspicion. And if that is the case, then there is a criminal attempt to steal and loot the gold resources of our country. That we should not allow.
Openi gudi obako nsema odi tugwa wo parliamentary nani abra papa esan say nchifem no ye no the nancy bibiso say woton gold no very cheap esan say wonim say gold ne bo no rekosoro into woton ni cheap mo kwabra na price ne kosoro na to woton boom no wonya mfaso de ahye ne ho eyi gudi obako kire say ese wonya independent enquirer na okonsem yi mu no hu se ya hwehwa na yetimi hu pa bi 14 gold no wode koi company to gold no sika de do de to gold no esisi hu isan se ni hwem aye ne kire se okwaban bi no to gold no ye no hu dua bure no to gold no no nim se price be koso bia na otwe di animu anase na otwe bia edi animu e be koso nti meto ne se a na makoton boom se na manya se skara hyem okwabara ne di se adwuma no na yo bia so nipa de sane a o wendi si aban mu sa na gideon boako e kire nen na oye sa yiye no ye nua president chese debi se bi di imu nkire mu fi be gufo na me ma me we kura bi ase otwe ba wi ate daachi emobo daachi meye yie nyamba kire daanti ni nyina o san kwori nkurase ho nkurase na obi hye ho a o hye da fumpu no de ni radio koya wotemi ate ase se na asem nitini into we break it asabred down crawl to the level of me na bi o we kurase a se bi mpenga yasa wan ko school da into yenko ti ye nua president esema ono so ode abesoso ni mu nchire mu a wa ye ne fiko a wonso nsumpu ana ode ayenkwan yenko ne ko ti mra
asem okan ye ne say number 1 Ghana you will gold dudu you will gold so many gold also you will too much gold that were reserved no enti I see a diversify your reserve na as abroad kesi we ase kire ne say I see a ton ye gold no na ye de dollar na ye de dollar no e kan ye gold hu egu your reserve so that is what he meant by I see a diversify your reserve no osan so kan say Ghana o hwe other countries a ye hwe o ma asa so esa ya asa no omu ni gold dodo e wo mo reserve mu ti se ne yen ye wo no enti ehu hia se yen so ye beton ye gold no ye beti ye gold reserve no so ne enu omo de no ayepe and so asem o kan yi excuse my word very stupid nyan se bia anim but o ka kire na ne enti very stupid ne se ewiase amana nyina aba be to dwa se oman bia obetimi a protecting the home from any external shocks and say internal crisis ayo oman a owo gold dodo egu ho covid by Russia Ukraine war by anka ye gold dodo wo ho no ma anka nya de e ba akọ obesia nke ye nkose sisika ye nko ye lala sulala anything na Dr. Baomia ni nyanse mu no omaye pay gold bebre egu through gold purchase program no and this has been confirmed by even developed countries are omuntu gold wo honom now no they are buying gold and keeping gold in their reserve enya asem ketwa nti asem Bank of Ghana governor ne be kan ne se bi na nyanse nim but o ka kire yin now fast forward few weeks after ato Forson any NDC aban akoka kire parliament say ene no omo ba be to gold bebre e de asie wo your reserve omo ba be use your taxpayers money e de to gold bebre e keep e wo your reserve muntie ni yo obi a few weeks ago maton gold aye wo half e say hu hia se e be keep gold bebre ene mo ba be kan kire yen say esese mo sign e to gold bebre e de be ku your reserve na no na Dr. Ghc12Billion honorable Dr. Ghc12Billion ye MP aye mo hwehwemu ehunu say there is an organized crime going on. There is deliberate create loot and share going on for e Ghana krokon and nchiremu a wode ma ye ni o say NDC for no e bra na omo ton ye gold over 18 tons no na international market e bo no e $3,500 per ounce. That was the time no omo ton ye gold 18 tons no. Now and then now almost see omo ba be to gold bebre omo be use your taxes e dey to gold bebre no e bo no akosoro akodru eye $5,500 per ounce na ni hwehwe mu ama na ba be dey say e bra na omo ton ye gold ni cheaply no omo ton ma omo hu NDC mpanifo na omo ton ma omo na omo ye hwehwe mu hu say gold prices e ba be kosoro enti na omo share da e ton eye gold no e ma omo ho at the time na ebo no e ho fom na enen na gold prices akosoro no gold no omo to na fofofo e free Ghana ho no omo ba be ton ama Ghana fo aboden mutini ye. So this is the insider trading na oka ho asem say brade na efo no NDC fo keep gold na ama Ghana omo ton ma omo ho and na ne bo aye den no omo ba be ton ama Ghana. And that is chrono a evil, a wickedness way, a organized crime, a illegal way, a jailable offense. That be sign this if we win. Ye be jailum wo home. Now nyabotre me ba be kire wo hawa Ghana actually 1.16 billion US dollars. Wo the basi di mu a in excess of 12 billion Ghana cedis. Na ye ka tons 18 tons ye ka ounces no. E be ye wani so ketua bi 18 tons they say ketua bi. But me be breaking it down no what asem. Over 1 ton of gold bi over 35,150.7 ounces. That is over 1 ton BM, 35,150.7 ounces. Now, a bra ton 18 tons of your gold. What bra nane prices, international prices, 3,500 per ounce. No, Sika Ghana yenye free a little over 2 billion US dollars. A little over 2 billion US dollars. Now, say ne, see a person you sign top 18 tons on ye to 18 tons na ediku ye reserve ma and then I born every $3,500 per ounce. I could do $5,500 per ounce no sika ye behia edi ato 3.18 billion US dollars 3.18 billion US dollars and ye behia edi ato enti ye calculation yi tie ni yi wote 2.08 billion US dollars ye ton gold in my NDC for ye nya every 3.18 billion US dollars ye be hia de ato every ho no utiviri mu ubehu a loss of 1.16 billion US dollars over 12 billion Ghana cedis equivalent enti ene me no ka say gold NDC aban say o ba be ton vigorously no de see ewo your reserve mu no ye ba be use in excess of 3.1 billion US dollars to get 18 tons no from NDC for no no Ghana ye be hwere 1.16 billion US dollars Ghana ye no ye be hwere say sika no e ba ko share NDC for be botom NDC for na wo motonton mo no ho no e ba ko show mu botom and when you chrono a NDC for no e boyen omo fin so omo ya smart but omo ni say hurry up me say that power be change these people they will go to jail say they be omo ko position a ye jail omo no
nsema yenu president so e dey go na nti say nsem wo wi mu na nsem ntama katane ma so papa ko say won say ade a wode boye chibra yem backbone 8 MPP for the baby pushia ma 31 and moment wo hwe say ade a yede bo oman ho brade a man ani da so man fapem na akoko batan wonton no akoko a otum kusua bo meduasa wonton no na nade akoko bere no wache na chekotokum ye kwa akoton ni o waton no mpa wie na wode gi ahe enani asem no nti sa gold wi gold a gold reserves a egu ho mo man konkon Ghana na ne fapema sebe okasa otibidi de seburu se me wo 31 tons of gold into akere me kwaji bibi mpop fi ba bia obi timi hwe ne ame wo no ho na ode ama me isan se metimi etua ene yang aton fi ba bia wona ba bedu 18.6 tons ya jeso na wene ya we no bibi wachi kana fan tikutabe kana fan ti jami ne ti ya so waton gold no na gold no na kope bae wona kope no wa beton na wo beton no bo kana fa mane wo ton ma hina na hina no toy enne this is the question that your ton has to answer. Ato Forson, gold number ton and whom we are today. Munya he, Botoma hina, then Tinabo ton. Nana boya he. And no gana fu be sempring. Nti you would give walk where there was a papa, so what me addresses square cocoon sans now the aba. This is democracy, and this is the power of minority, our mighty minority in parliament. We could have one part din. What's a cat with you, and you do rura. What you may ye, until what you abano, SC, out in Ponso say, a quany, Faquanam now mudum. Until me young quan fast our tongue good, sky with a G, the Paqua tongue good mano, and bring ye. Could media TV zone be the catch a jail with yourself, but you made it a same children of the somo. And in the kind of word baswa, and I would tear me, Mr. One was subscribed to the Coda Media TV. The subscription no aquafunk Mr. and mean tea the cake without subscription. Would tear not subscribe what? Namus Wama power, say, Mini Biara Minions in Biano, Merapatua, now when you be at Oku to June.